As I would not be a slave, so would I not be a master. This expresses my idea of democracy. This quote means that Lincoln believed in a democracy where everyone is equal. He would not want to be a slave, and he would not want to be a master. He believed that everyone should have the same rights and opportunities. The best way to get a bad law repealed is to enforce it strictly. This quote means that if we want to get rid of a bad law, we should enforce it so strictly that it becomes clear that it is not working. This will put pressure on the lawmakers to repeal the law. Discourage litigation. Persuade your neighbors to compromise whenever you can. As a peacemaker, the lawyer has superior opportunity of being a good man. There will still be business enough. This quote means that we should try to resolve disputes peacefully whenever possible. Litigation is expensive and time-consuming, and it can often make the situation worse. A lawyer who is able to help people resolve their disputes peacefully is doing a good thing. If this is coffee, please bring me some tea, but if this is tea, please bring me some coffee. This quote is a humorous way of saying that we should be clear about what we want. If we are not sure what we want, we will never be satisfied. The shepherd drives the wolf from the sheep's throat, for which the sheep thanks the shepherd as his liberator, while the wolf denounces him for the same act as the destroyer of liberty. Plainly, the sheep and the wolf are not agreed upon a definition of liberty. This quote is about the different perspectives that people have on freedom. The sheep sees the shepherd as a liberator because he protects them from the wolf. The wolf, on the other hand, sees the shepherd as a destroyer of freedom because he takes away his freedom to prey on the sheep. Marriage is neither heaven nor hell, it is simply purgatory. This quote means that marriage is a state of being that is neither perfect nor terrible. It is a place where we learn and grow, and where we experience both joy and sorrow. My dream is of a place and a time where America will once again be seen as the last best hope of earth. This quote is from Lincoln's second inaugural address. It expresses his hope that America will continue to be a beacon of hope and freedom for the world. Those who deny freedom to others deserve it not for themselves, and under the rule of a just God, cannot long retain it. This quote is from Lincoln's Gettysburg Address. It is a statement of his belief that freedom is a fundamental human right that should be enjoyed by everyone. No matter how much cats fight, there always seem to be plenty of kittens. This quote is a humorous observation about the fact that even though cats often fight, they still manage to reproduce. It can also be seen as a reminder that even in the midst of conflict, there is always hope for new beginnings. That some achieve great success, is proof to all that others can achieve it as well. This quote is a message of inspiration and hope. It suggests that if some people can achieve great things, then anyone can, regardless of their circumstances. The probability that we may fail in the struggle ought not to deter us from the support of a cause we believe to be just. This quote is a call to action. It suggests that we should not be afraid to fight for what we believe in, even if there is a chance that we will fail. He has a right to criticize, who has a heart to help. This quote suggests that criticism is only valid if it is accompanied by a willingness to help. It is not enough to simply point out the flaws in something, we also need to be willing to offer solutions. I do not think much of a man who is not wiser today than he was yesterday. This quote is a reminder that we should always be learning and growing. We should not be content to stay the same, but should always strive to be better. We should be too big to take offense and too noble to give it. This quote suggests that we should rise above petty disagreements and insults. We should not allow ourselves to be offended, and we should not give offense to others. You have to do your own growing no matter how tall your grandfather was. This quote is a reminder that we are responsible for our own lives. We cannot rely on our parents or grandparents to make our choices for us. We have to take responsibility for our own growth and development. With malice toward none, with charity for all, with firmness in the right, as God gives us to see the right, let us strive on to finish the work we are in, to bind up the nation's wounds. This quote is from Lincoln's second inaugural address. It is a call for unity and healing in the aftermath of the Civil War. Lincoln urges Americans to put aside their differences and work together to rebuild the nation. At what point then is the approach of danger to be expected? I answer, if it ever reach us, it must spring up amongst us. It cannot come from abroad. If destruction be our lot, we must ourselves be its author and finisher. As a nation of freemen, we must live through all time, or die by suicide. This quote is from Lincoln's Lyceum address. It is a warning about the dangers of internal division. Lincoln argues that if Americans cannot unite and work together, they will eventually destroy themselves. Fellow citizens, we cannot escape history. We, of this Congress and this administration, will be remembered in spite of ourselves. No personal significance, or insignificance, can spare one or another of us. The fiery trial through which we pass will light us down in honor or dishonor, to the latest generation. This quote is from Lincoln's first inaugural address. It is a reminder that the actions of the current generation will have a lasting impact on the future. Lincoln urges his fellow citizens to act with care and responsibility, knowing that their decisions will be judged by history. I care not much for a man's religion whose dog and cat are not the better for it. This quote is a statement of Lincoln's belief that true religion is about compassion and kindness, not just about dogma and ritual. He argues that if a man's religion does not make him a better person, then it is not worth much. If we could first know where we are, and whither we are tending, we could then better judge what to do, and how to do it. This quote is a call for self-reflection and critical thinking. Lincoln argues that if we can understand our current situation and where we are headed, we will be better able to make decisions about the future. A woman is the only thing I am afraid of that I know will not hurt me. This quote is a humorous way of saying that Lincoln is afraid of women's power. He knows that they are capable of great things, and he respects them for that. A friend is one who has the same enemies as you have. This quote is a saying that suggests that true friendship is based on shared values and beliefs. If you have the same enemies as someone else, then you are likely to be on the same side of most issues. Avoid popularity if you would have peace. This quote suggests that it is important to be true to yourself, even if it means being unpopular. If you try to please everyone, you will eventually lose your own sense of identity. The way for a young man to rise is to improve himself in every way he can, never suspecting that anybody wishes to hinder him. This quote is a message of self-improvement. Lincoln believes that the best way to succeed in life is to constantly be learning and growing. A house divided against itself cannot stand. This quote is from Lincoln's Gettysburg Address. It is a warning about the dangers of division. Lincoln argued that if the United States could not unite, it would eventually fall apart. Every man is said to have his peculiar ambition. Whether it be true or not, I can say, for one, that I have no other so great as that of being truly esteemed of my fellow men, by rendering myself worthy of their esteem. How far I shall succeed in gratifying this ambition is yet to be developed. This quote is a statement of Lincoln's ambition. He wants to be respected by his fellow men, and he believes that he can achieve this by being a good and just leader. Let's have faith that right makes might, and in that faith let us, to the end, dare to do our duty as we understand it. This quote is a call to action. Lincoln believes that we should have faith in the power of good, and that we should not be afraid to stand up for what we believe in. Surely God would not have created such a being as man, with an ability to grasp the infinite, to exist only for a day. No, no, man was made for immortality. This quote is a statement of Lincoln's belief in the afterlife. He believes that humans are meant to live forever, and that this life is just a brief passage on our journey to eternity. Stand with anybody that stands right, stand with him while he is right and part with him when he goes wrong. This quote is a statement of Lincoln's commitment to principle. He believes that it is important to stand up for what you believe in, even if it means going against your friends or family. The things I want to know are in books, my best friend is the man who'll get me a book I ain't read. This quote is a statement of Lincoln's love of learning. He believes that the best way to learn is to read, and that his best friends are the people who can help him find new books to read. I never had a policy, I have just tried to do my very best each and every day. This quote is a statement of Lincoln's pragmatism. He believes that it is more important to focus on doing what is right than on following a specific plan. All the armies of Europe, Asia, and Africa combined, with all the treasure of the earth, our own excepted, in their military chest, with a Bonaparte for a commander, could not by force, take a drink from the Ohio, or make a track on the Blue Ridge, in a trial of 1,000 years. This quote is a statement of Lincoln's belief in the power of the United States. He believes that the United States is too strong to be conquered by any foreign power. Any people anywhere, being inclined and having the power, have the right to rise up, and shake off the existing government, and form a new one that suits them better. This is a most valuable, a most sacred right, a right, which we hope and believe, is to liberate the world. This quote is a statement of Lincoln's belief in the right to revolution. He believes that people have the right to overthrow their government if it is no longer serving them.